So in this video, I'll be talking about two types of data mining, which are supervised learning and unsupervised learning. We have different problems in data mining, and we may use different learning to help us with the problem. So let's look at the first one, supervised learning. So the data set we use under this supervised learning are usually the data that we have, the labeled data. So what do I mean by labeled data? So which means that I have both output and input variables, and I'm trying to train the model to learn the relationship between the input and output variables in order to help me to analyze a new set of data with the similar inputs. And this is what we have in the supervised learning. And for the problems that we have under the supervised learning are, for example, classification, regression. Okay, so classification, okay, and regression techniques are used to predict a target variable, which what we call output variable, okay, based on the input variables. So which means that with the data set, we have both input and output, okay, and we're trying to learn this relationship. And again, with another set of similar data, and we're using the already learned the model to predict the output variables for this new set of data. Okay, I hope that I will not confuse you about this. Okay, so for classification here, okay, we use classification tasks to predict output variables which are categorical or polynomial. So categorical, for example, we can have red, yellow, blue colors as put the colors into different categories, or we have polynomial data. So for example, yes or no. Okay, so these are polynomial, extremes. And then we have regression analysis here. So regression analysis, in the regression tasks, the output variable is usually numeric. Okay, so for example, the interest, okay, rate or a loan. Okay, so these are the data, the variable that we can use within the regression and classifications. So you can see that actually we can't use pictures or we can't use text data within the supervised learning. Okay, let's look at unsupervised learning, this is I think the sparkle in data mining, is which that the given data does not have the labeled data, which means that we have unlabeled data. We have no idea about our data set, and we are hoping that this mining process will help us to find hidden patterns in the data. And so what we have clustering, and we have association analysis, and of course we have text mining, which is under clustering, and we have time series forecasting. Okay, so in this lesson, in this video, I'll be just looking at clustering. So clustering, I have to say, is very similar to classification, but for clustering, it's a process of identifying neutral groupings in the data set. So which means that we use clustering to find the natural clusters in the data set. We can use it for market segmentation, and so usually these clusters are clustered together based on some the characters of the attributes. Okay, and then we have association analysis. So association analysis is basically based on, for example, in the supermarket, there are some specific items are purchased or together, right? And then the associated analysis is going to help us to identify what are the things that usually are purchased by the customers together. And you can see, if you go to the supermarket, actually you can see that there are some specific items are always placed next to each other no matter which supermarket you go, right? So these is actually how to say, concluded with the help with the algorithms. And so for example, this is also called market basket analysis, right? So we usually use it in a recommendation engines. Right, so for example, if you go to a Udemy online websites, and when you search for certain courses, and at the bottom of the page, they will see people who purchase this course also purchase these course. So it's more like, a bundle sale. All right, so these are very briefly explanation about the different tasks in data mining. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please do subscribe to my channel.